I don't know whether the team just didn't want to do it. You just play maybe the team just didn't want to do it. Floyd should have asked the question themselves. Floyd should have asked the question themselves, I'm sure. If they were that worried about having like people be able to get to the game.
They're going to have that opinion of the president a couple of this.
No, 100%. They should have made the game a 1 o'clock, I reckon. Oh no, but to get from 1 o'clock, like 1 o'clock at least to finish is at 3, and then there's a bit more time, or is it 12 o'clock? Yeah, it's an extra 2 or 3 hours essentially. No, I agree. At least even if they just moved that game.
I'm not joking about this, but over there, we've got all the young players over there. 14 drills on a Saturday, all in one day.
Yeah.
So much better. Now it's like it's brand new place.
State Football Centre, that's been scheduled for ages. To be fair, that was always going to be the way.
Close to home from me, I don't care. I live around there. I'm living down there.
There you go. All good tonight, mate?
Yeah.
How are you, mate? All right?
Yeah, got like cable fix.
Sorry, I was just looking at something down there.
No, I said, we've got the cable fix.
Nice one. Where are you this weekend?
I think I'm at that.
I'm not for it.
Yeah, I've been at Players, right? Who's filming the video itself? Commentating the derby?
Ian was there, old guy with grey hair.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I'm just going to go and follow the links because I need to get a team sheet. Follow us down? Yeah, I will. How are you guys? All right? All right. Not too bad out here tonight, eh?
used to like to have one.
To a point where you, at the end of the day, they will do it, then it's something completely up to them. Right? I just don't know what you're going to get.
It's really embarrassing. What are they going to go back?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Best Team Stadium at the Murdoch University campus for the first semi-final of the Women's State Cup as Murdoch University Melville hosts Fremantle City for the second time in only 4 days. My name's Tommy Dolan. I'll be calling you through tonight's action on streamer.com.au for this 7:30 kickoff here in the West. We're also on the Football West Facebook page tonight as well. Both skippers, Laura Waltman and Charlie Wainwright, just going through the pre-game admin with tonight's officials. Of course, this being the first of the two semi-finals, tonight's victor will face the winner of the second semi-final between Hyundai NTC and Perth Soccer Club at E&D Leaders Stadium. That one will be played, though, in a few weeks' time, given NTC are currently on way on NTC Challenge duties. Of course, this game sandwiched in between an NPL WA women's season, which has packed plenty of twists and turns so far. Red Star may have stolen a march in terms of the league, but the top of the table clash this weekend could change things, while also the race for the top four is well and truly on. Referee for tonight's game out in the middle is David Avison. He'll be assisted by Darius Andros and Chloe Smith. Norm Kovaceski is your fourth official. So both teams break from their huddles, and we're well and truly in the midst of the season now. The cold winter evenings have set in 2/3 of the way into the campaign. Having met as recently as Sunday afternoon, a rapid-fire midweek follow-up has potential to be testing, but the reward of a Women's State Cup final appearance makes that fight a little bit more worthwhile and may provide added impetus for the back end of the 2023 campaign. So semi-final number one, just about set to get off and underway. Fremantle City will get us started playing in the predominantly black jerseys and the shorts tonight. Murdoch University Melville playing in red with the white numbers, and we're off and underway. Laura Waltman will send it straight out wide to Jamie Lee Gale as Fremantle City look to get on the front foot in the opening stages of this Final Four encounter in the Women's State Cup. That's good anticipation from Jess Johnson, though. Only really had one teammate to her right, though, and Fremantle were able to swarm bodies around the ball. Still might be here, though, for the home side. Prayato, little reverse pass. Johnson, a little bit of time to weigh up the cross, potentially. It's aimed in. It wasn't a bad delivery either. Cleared only as far as Prayato. And surprising start here from the home team. Wainwright trying to poke through. Freo clears straight up in the air. And that one should bounce through to Cornish, albeit the synthetic service nearly gave them a little bit of a problem. And we can draw breath on a fast and furious opening. Lucy Hope will turn around the corner. Sam Mathers trying to get out of a tight corner. Freo win it back. And they'll start again via Annabelle Leake. Wainwright's turn around the corner will go out for a throw, which Freo will take via Leake again. Both of these teams have played 14 matches in the league this season. 8 points separating them in the league. Mum FC 6th in the division. Fremantle City 2nd. Of course, attention will turn back there on the weekend. As I mentioned in my introduction, though, there was a meeting on Sunday afternoon down at Fremantle City's ground of Hilton Park. Wainwright wasn't quite able to get it clear. Fremantle City will come back again. Janice Kiyama will try a luck from range, and that is into the grasp of Stacey Cavill. A goalkeeper who's back in the starting lineup this weekend. Or this midweek, my apologies. Ava Hayes did a good job deputising for the experienced goalkeeper at the weekend. Fremantle City winning that one by a Olivia Truman goal to 0. Wainwright's ball forward a little too far ahead of Sophie Mead, and I think, although she'll give it a good go in
terms of trying to chase it down. Ball just skipped away off the surface, though. It's a beautiful night for football in truth. Barely any clouds in the sky or any breeze of note for the players to contend with. We're expecting dry conditions throughout the evening. Cross came in from Reno. FC on the throw again. Mathers tried to help on. Rigby, side-footed clear. Wainwright leading the race back. She's able to guide it back to Lucy Hope. Cool head on Hope's shoulders there. Good challenge from Kiama on Mathers. Ball over the top now. Will search for Truman. Hope missed the clearance, and Truman will take the strike on early. Maybe had a little bit more time than she realised to make a decision. In the end, the shot goes harmlessly wide of the mark. So Fremantle City free kick here. Leak over the dead ball. 5 or 6 black shirts for her to aim for. It was sent in towards Truman. Awkward bobble off the surface. Johnson had to deal with it and did. And Freo were able to stay on the front foot. Rigby will go over to take the throw. Wainwright ran into Rigby. Bursting into the area is the Perth Glory A-League women's skipper. She wins her team a corner, does Tash Rigby. Announced during the week as Perth Glory's A-League women's skipper for the 5th season in a row. Corner comes in from Gale. Mathers probably should have met that. Mum FC are able to scramble away. Meaden's got to wait for the support to arrive. The red jerseys are streaming forward, but Waltman was able to pick off. Gale's ball in. Slightly behind Spatafor. Pass found Osborne. Under pressure. Now Kiama. Pressure was pretty good from Mum FC though. Now Prayato. In fact, it was Harrell, my apologies. Johnson inside. Wainwright. Lahane was in space over on the far side. Hope finds her now. Lahane carries across halfway. Pass aimed into the feet of Prayato. Osborne should be able to just swipe it away and does. Danielle Brown had the last touch on that. Fremantle City will get it back. Fremantle City been in good form in the past couple of months or so. 6 wins in their past 7 games. Just a defeat to NTC of real note. It's been a run of form which has helped them to close the gap on leaders Red Star, but they've not quite been able to get there yet, albeit that might change at the weekend. Mum FC, meanwhile, have had to contend with a couple of injuries in recent times, but well and truly still in that top 4 race. Despite just 1 win in 7 league games. Have been able to pick up wins in the cup competitions though throughout. Schubert, another of the inclusions back into the Mum FC lineup tonight that missed at the weekend. She'll stand over the free kick inside the centre circle. Ball sent forward. Cornish was under it. And she was able to claim under no real pressure. Harau tried to find the return for Mathers. Clearance was from Rigby. Lahane. Prayato. Harau did well. Chanced her luck from distance with a low strike. It was on target, but Cornish was well behind it again. Fremantle City goalkeeper still deputising in between the sticks for Dale Schroeder, who's currently away. Osborne with the steal. Little feed inside for Truman. Let it go, and that allowed Hope to step in. Wainwright. Mathers. Ball up the line. Meaden. Chance for a Mum FC counter-attack here. Sophie Meaden into the area. 2 Mum FC players arriving in support. Defending the situation well back there, I think, was Leake. And the Enterprise was worthy of a corner. That was a good piece of quick transition play, though, from Mum FC. They were able to find the runner out wide, and Meaden's proved before this season that she is dangerous against this opposition. 2 goals in the opening week of the season against Fremantle City in a 2-1 win at Hilton Park. Corner comes in from the home side. It stood up deep. Mathers is under it. So too was Wainwright. Prayato then from a tight angle. It was a difficult position for her to try and work a shot on target, and it flashes just wide of Cornish's near post. Been a decent start from both teams here, though. Early stages of this game, just gone 10 minutes. If you are late, it's joining us tonight. Murdoch University Melville 0, Fremantle City 0, Women's State Cup semi-final number 1. Streamer.com.au and on the Football West Facebook page with myself, Tommy Dolman, tonight. Meaden's lift forward. Harau. One of the many youngsters at Murdoch University Melville who have really stepped up this season and improved out of sight. A really good crop of players that were largely introduced last season after the turnaround of players in the end of the 2021 treble-winning season. That's a nice pass from Harau. Cornish had to come out, and she got there just before Johnson did. Johnson, another one of those players who's come into the MPLW senior side this season and has made the step up to this mark look pretty comfortable. She's on the corner here, drilling it in. A little bit too close to the goalkeeper, though. Cornish has been certainly busy under those high balls in the early stages. Truman. Waltman's pass. Gale. Little turn around the corner. Intercepted by Hope. Waltman was arriving on the scene and she drew the contact. So not for the first time tonight. Leake will stand over this set piece. Little clip into the area. Cavill was able to come off her line and claim, though. Goalkeeper who arrived at the club this season, having been with Curtin since the inaugural season of the NPLWA women's competition prior. Six caps also internationally for the Philippines national team. Spatafor was giving chase to that long ball forward, but Schubert was leading the way back. Both players hit the deck. And referee said that all was fair there and the throw-in is taken. Spatafor drills in. Schubert heads clear, only as far as Borman. Awkward bobble of the ball outside the area. Mum FC wanted the foul, wasn't forthcoming. Johnson was able to nick it away anyway, tried to play a little 1-2 with Prayado. And then Johnson, with excellent work rate, was able to trouble Waltman temporarily. Sophie Osborne's throw. Worked all the way back for Catherine Adams. One of two former NTC players who have arrived this off-season. The other being Truman, of course. Remarkably, it's the fifth time that these two teams have met this season in all competitions. See the 3 league meetings, which have already been played, and there was also a night series contest between this pair as well, which ended in a 1-1 draw. The season ledger stands at 2 wins Fremantle City, 1 win to Mum FC. And who knows, there may be a 6th yet as well if the two sides both end up reaching the post-season competition. Meaden. Harrao. Wainwright, good football this from the home team. Mathers, little ball inside. Harrao on the turn, looking to make half a yard. She got the strike off. It was well blocked. Ball just spun away from Brown. Osborne needs support. She got it in the form of Spatafor. Little 1-2 with Truman. Spatafor again up the line. A little bit too far ahead of her teammate. Well, that's a dangerous pass here. Rigby might be able to intercept. She'll turn on the afterburners and skip past a couple of challenges. Kiyama was making the late run. Rigby couldn't pick her out. Now Mum FC will try and go forward on the counter. Borman was snapping in. Rigby gets it back on the retreat. Kiyama peels wide. Truman is more central. And Kiyama was able to win the foul from Lahane's challenge, and it'll be a Freo set piece in a decent crossing position. So Leaks ball in. Truman leaped, missed it. Ball nearly ran through for Spatafor. She eventually got on the end of it. Did really well with 3 red shirts swarming around her. Waltman had an option outside, opted to go it alone. Cross came in, took a slight deflection. Mum FC will try and play out from the back. Meaden's turn around the corner. Murdoch not quite out of danger yet. Waltman was then able to just slam that forward, and Cavill was happy to watch behind. Brown for Harrell. Jess Johnson, little ball inside. Space for Wainwright here. Teammate to her left is Mathers. Mathers loves to come inside on that right foot. She'll curl towards goal! And Super Sam scores the opening goal of the evening for Mum FC. She's having a real breakout season this campaign, and she's put her team up in the semi-final. It's Mum FC 1, Fremantle City 0. So Mum FC 1, Fremantle City 0. Home team strike first on semi-final night. Just before the 20-minute mark. I mentioned before that the games between these two teams have been tight, so it's not surprising that we've seen a tight opener, but David Biancuzzo's team able to strike first here and give themselves something to defend. They might even fancy their chances of pushing a little further on, but Meaden's pass was slightly behind Mathers. Wainwright, little feed out wide. Mathers once more. Harrell. Meaden again. Rigby made the challenge. Lahane bursting down the left. Gale was keeping her company. Throw long up the line. Truman giving chase, trying to worry Hope into an error. Pass was up the line. Fremantle City looking to try and carve out a response, occupy a little bit of home territory here. Throw was looking for the feed of Kiyama. Rigby turning out of trouble. Meaden. Prayato. Lahane. Meaden into the area. Wasn't quite able to keep that one in play, but once again the build-up was Excellent from Murdoch University, Melville. Those quick releases and that speed out on the flanks is certainly troubling the visitors. Hope's headed down. Waltman at the drop. Lifts over the top. Schubert intercepting. A little bit of head tennis. Lunge doesn't win the ball on Waltman, but Fremantle City midfield is able to send it back. Pass into the channel was seeking out the run of Gale. It'll run through for Cavill. Harrow trying to chase down Rigby. She was able to block the clearance. Behind it went for a goal kick. These two teams actually met in the cup last year as well at the round of 16 stage. So a little bit earlier than this campaign. Fremantle City getting the win that night. Mum FC had taken the lead in that game though through an early Megan Holzman goal. Goals then from Waltman, from Gale, and Darmago were then able to win the game. Mum FC will still be wary of some of those attacking players. Of course, Waltman and Gale still in the team. Shouts for handball there against Truman, and that looked pretty clear from where we stood. Ball forward from Hope. Drifts straight through a sea of bodies on the edge of the area. Cornish is able to clear. A quick release will bounce straight over the head of Truman, and it is something that do need to be a little bit wary of. The bouncier, sometimes skiddier synthetic pitch. Gale, Waltman making the run ahead of her. Gale was able to draw the foul there. I think it was Hope who got the booking there, so first yellow card of the evening goes the way of the home team. Former NTC player Lucy Hope, who hails from the southwest. So Gale's ball in, penalty spot bound. It's behind all of her teammates in the end, and Danielle Brown's able to clear upfield. Gives Sophie Meaden something to chase, and again, Murdoch will try and launch into the counter. The goal scorer Mathers is wide. Harrow just slightly left it behind. Rigby with the orange boots was able to step in. Gale and Rigby just look as though they're swapping positions on that right side. This is such a luxury for the Fremantle City coaching staff, having two former Perth Glory players on that right side. A really good understanding and relationship makes that position alteration look seamless. Speaking of which, Rigby's able to make the challenge there. Poke from Wainwright. Runs all the way back through for Hope. Lahane up the line. Mathers inside. Lahane once more for Prayato. Schubert prodded forward. Mathers just lost the handle on it. Worked out okay for Harao, though. Now Prayato wide. Pass forward from Lahane was a little inaccurate, and Cornish was able to come across and gather. Once again, though, the passing in midfield is pretty slick from the home team. A killer pass was attempted there by Hope. Harao. Johnson with the fancy footwork was well read by Osborne, who's launching the charge upfield. Little pass inside for Truman. Truman went to ground. Play continues. Kiyama's ball over the top. Lahane had to head and did. Meaden got past Kiyama. Did really well. Tries to link up with Prayato, whose pass was just a little wide for Johnson, who was trying to surge forward. Schubert's clearance kept in by Truman. Waltman got past Brown and Wainwright. Chance to cross first time. Turned away by Hope. Mum FC just about able to clear the danger. Meaden does well. Johnson loves to run with the ball at her feet. Wanted an option. Nothing was obvious, so she basically passed it in front of Lahane and told her to go forward. Harao. Gale with a sliding challenge. Mum FC corner. So Johnson goes across to take an in-swinging corner. Right-footed delivery, right into that 6-yard area. Awkward one off Mathers. Prayato wanted support. It arrived in the form of Brown. Cross. Did it take a deflection? Ball didn't stay in play in any case, did it? No. Cornish was able to gather in the nick of time. Waltman left the pass from Adams. Spatterford giving chase. Schubert. Of course, the skipper of the team that lifted the 2020 NPL WA Women's League title, Katie Schubert. One of the few players who have stayed the course. Rigby. Dug out across. Mathers with good determined defending though. And Lahane was there in support. Clearance was only as far as Borman. Mathers tried to play the little 1-2 with Meaden. Leak pumped upfield. Hope's header. Now Lahane's ball over the top. Leak should be able to let that one run through to a goalkeeper again. Prayado. Mathers. Poked away by Kiama. Truman's layoff. Waltman. Ball into the channel. Spatafor giving chase. Cavill comes off her line. Should deal with it and does. Turned out to be a decent pass for Johnson, which was fired right at her. A tough one to bring down. It allowed Osborne to step in. Now Truman. Helped on by Gale. Truman with no one really to cross for in the middle other than Spatafor, so she had to pull to the edge of the area, and Harrell was able to spin it around the corner. Wainwright, time to assess her options. Didn't like anything forward, so went back to Schubert. Calm head at the back. Wainwright. Johnston tried to help it on. Osborne leading the race back in front of official Darius Andres, who I've been told won the referee of the tournament at the Kanga Cup. So well done to him. Good to see our local officials going away and doing well also. Wainwright's poke forward. Johnson. Meaden could see what she was trying to do. Truman was then across to make the challenge, and Murdoch get the throw. So 10 minutes to play. Murdoch University of Melville 1, Fremantle City 0. Samantha Mathers is top corner curler. The difference in the game so far. Fremantle City yet to really force home goalkeeper Stacey Cavill into a save of note. Been a good performance so far by David Biancuzzo's team. Done it playing some pretty good football too. Fremantle City love to try and respond in the late stages of this first half. Leake will pass forward for Gale. Looks as though she switched back with Rigby now. Waltman came across. Last touch was off a red jersey. A little bit of light rain starting to come across Best Team Stadium. Looks to be blowing just over the stand that we're stood under here. I think I put the curse on it pre-game. I didn't think we were expecting any wet weather tonight, but there you go. These winters can be temperamental at the best of times. As the people in attendance watching try and get themselves into a little bit of shelter.
How's your hand?
So Brown's throw, Prayado's layoff, Harrell giving chase. View slightly obstructed there by the visitors' bench. Cross came in from the right, nearly ran through for Mathers. Ball spun away from Kiama. Mathers then struck again. It was straight at Cornish this time. And having already struck one from outside the box, she had another sighter. Meaden. Mathers. Johnson lurking. Waltman's able to come away with the ball. Rain starting to come down a lot heavier now as it's prodded wide for Truman. Rigby's ahead of her. She goes back for Kiama. Sophie Meaden was snapping in to the challenge. Kiama opting to retreat all the way back for Annabelle Leake. It'll skip off the surface and it'll be a Mum FC throw. Wet weather just adds that little bit of extra element on this synthetic surface. Ball can skip off it pretty quickly. So Lahane goes and retrieves the ball. Priato's turned around the corner. Slammed straight up in the air by Gale. Rigby goes to retrieve, trying to do her best to keep the game moving over on the far side. Lane takes quickly. Kiama trying to step her way out of a little bit of trouble. She did well in the end. Borman slides wide. Johnson was able to pick off. Can she keep this one in play? She can. Osborne, though, was matching her for pace and did really well to get her body in between ball and opponent. Eventually it's put into touch by Waltman. Priato tried the little back heel. She won a team a corner with it. So Johnson plays quickly, edge of the area. Wainwright just didn't quite get it right on the edge of the box. Gale's pass up the line, missed the target again. MFC get it back. Rigby fighting hard, and she wins the foul. Frere tried to get it moving quickly. Rigby went with the early delivery. Clearance was nearly brought down by Meaden. Truman. Gale to her right. Good challenge from Lahane. Mathers. Priato. A little bit of space for Johnson near side. She opts to go back for Schubert instead. Spatafor was trying to pose a problem. Now Leake carrying out from the back. Striding out of centre of defence. She's still forward here. Bullman's gone in to cover her position for now. Leake, meanwhile, is at the other end of the pitch. Little pass inside. Waltman wanted her left side. Schubert stood up to it. Hope completed the clearance. Into the final couple of minutes in this first half. Murdoch University Melville trying to hold on to the 1-goal lead given to them by Sam Mathers. Rigby, cross, deflected behind. Visitors will get a corner. Fremantle City with wins. Winning the last round by 3-1 against Balcatta Etna. Murdoch University Melville defeating Hammersley Rovers, the Division 1 side, by 3-0 at the Careen Open Space. Both advance to this semi-final. Gale, cross comes in late in the half. Kiyama got ahead to it. She wasn't quite able to steer towards the target though. Cavill just trying to use her experience to take the sting out of first half, although she plays short now. Hope. Lahane. Mathers tried to help on. Ball had already crossed the line. Gale. Last touch off Gale there as Lahane cleared. Much to the surprise of Rigby. Waltman tried to thread the pass through. Cavill will come across and pick up. And 45 minutes is up, so at the discretion of the officials now as to how much added time we'll play in this first half. Cavill goes as far upfield as possible. Maybe still time for either team in this first half if they can get the ball under control quickly. Wainwright has a runner out wide in Lahane. She's also got Mathers. Pass missed her. Rigby, lifted forward. Cushioned down by Wainwright. Gale intercepts. Black shirt streaming forward for Fremantle City. Lahane did really well though. And she'll try to shield the ball away from a former Perth Glory winger and succeeded in doing so. In fact, last touch, according to the assistant, was off a Murdoch University Melville player. So Fremantle City will get one final corner to end the half. We've played a minute of added time in this first period. Gale's ball in, drilled low. Waltman met it at the near post. Went behind for a goal kick, and that'll be the last action of the first half. So Murdoch University Melville 1, Fremantle City 0 at the break. A good, early and surprising first half from both teams, which was made difficult by the conditions. As the half wore on, the game's decisive goal scored so far by Samantha Mathers. Her fantastic 2023 campaign continues with a goal in the cup to go with her 12 league goals of the season. Mum FC have done it by playing good football. Fremantle City yet to really test Stacey Cavill in the home goal, and they hold a probable deserved lead at the break. We'll be back for the second period shortly. Mum FC 1, Fremantle City 0 at half-time. Do you want to try and bring this under the cover, or? Welcome back to Best Team Stadium for the second half of this Women's State Cup semi-final between Murdoch University Melville and Fremantle City. Score at the break. Murdoch University Melville 1, Fremantle City 0. Sam Mathers, terrific first half goal. The difference so far. As the home team get us underway for this second period, no changes from them, as perhaps expected, given the first half showing they put up. One change for Fremantle City. Karis Hawkins has come on for the visitors. Player who's previously been called up to the Wales national squad and also once of Perth Glory as well, Hawkins. Just trying to confirm who it is that she's come on in place for. She is slotting into that midfield next to Laura Waltman. I think it's Nina Borman who's made way. So Borman off, Hawkins on at half-time. That's the only change for either club. Mum FC play out from the back. Little pass sideways is for Lahane on this near side. Mathers tried to return it to her. Wainwright with the captain's armband on tonight. Pass picked off by Rigby. Wainwright certainly stepping up as a real leader of this young Mum FC side. Over the course of the past 2 seasons, just continues to grow into a even better and better player in the middle of the park, the Rockingham City Junior. Really does lead in both directions as Rigby goes back for Leake. Freo trying to play out of a tight pocket. Eventually Rigby goes all the way back to Cornish. Visitors will start again through Adams. Pass was just in front of Osborne and she wasn't able to reel it in. Play either on the left-hand side of defence or in the centre. Sophie Osborne has had an extended run in the starting 11 with the absence of Siobhan Longmore. Mum FC win a free kick early in this second period. Chance for Katie Schubert to try and put a ball into the box and give her teammates something to attack. Ball comes in now. Prayado was there. It was nodded away by Leake. Truman's under a little bit of pressure. Danger not dealt with yet. Rigby steps in to help. Shouts for handball there against Hope, and it looked a pretty compelling appeal. Hope has, of course, already gone into the book. Of course, she's the only player in the opening period to pick up a yellow card, so just has to be a little bit careful. Leake tried to find the feet of Gale. Truman on the right. And it'll be a Mum FC goal kick, much to the surprise of the Fremantle City players out on the pitch and the dugout. Freo weren't really able to put a shot of notice towards the goal of Stacey Cavill in that opening 45 minutes. They were really sort of clogged up in the middle of the park by FC's midfield trio of Harao and Wainwright. Meaden as well playing just in front of them. Danielle Brown's throw. Prayado with a fancy flick. Leake able to turn and pass. Find the feet of Waltman. Wainwright defending in midfield really well. Has been excellent tonight in the centre of the park. Harao. Little layoff. Osborne. Ball crosses the line. It'll be a Freo ball and she's keen to get it moving quickly. Kiyama toes it back. Big shout from Cornish. Of course, this is the Mathers, little layoff. Meaden, ball into the feet of Prayado. The layoff. Harrell was there. Osborne read it. Wainwright sliding in. Gale was able to get on the end of it. Fremantle City with a chance to counter here. Waltman streaming forward. So too Spatterford. Pass was just in front of both of them. Under a run through for Cavill, but intent was a lot better there from the visitors. Streaming through the centre of the best team stadium. Tough to execute those passes on a night like tonight. We did see a lot of rain at the back end of the first period. Has just calmed down a little bit during the interval, as you can see. Still a little windy out there, though, as Hawkins. Waltman. Jamie Lee Gale. Once again, Mom FC able to get numbers around the ball. Mathers was trying to link up with Meaden. Rigby was back defending. Now Hawkins forward. That pass is too much weight on it, though. Mum FC, surprisingly, with just the 2 wins here at home this season at the best team stadium in the league anyway. Usually a real advantage having the slightly different surface. They did win here in the Cup, though, in the 4-0 win over Subiaco. Other home wins have been against Curtin and Subiaco in the league as well, so certainly not the fortress it has been in previous seasons. Fremantle City will still have hope. Of course, worth noting that if this game does stay level, or does go level, rather, we'll come back to that in a second, though. Truman tried to pull the ball across goal. Cross was charged down. Keeping it in play was Lahane. Mum FC will come in the other direction. Mathers drilled the pass into midfield. Osborne was able to intercept. Little layoff for Waltman. Fremantle City trying to build some revs here. Spatterford lost the handle, went back to get it. Ball squeezed out towards Waltman. A couple of targets to aim for in the middle. Cross came in. It was a little too close to Cavill, or at least it should have been claimed first time, but the goalkeeper fumbled it on the slippery surface and was able to gather it the second time of asking. I was just saying that if this game does stay level at 90 minutes, then we will go straight to penalties. No extra time in the earlier rounds of the women's competition, as Waltman gets into a crossing position. Once again, the delivery's too close to Cavill, though. Wainwright, good win in midfield. Mathers, little ball inside for Meaden. Pressure was put on there by Hawkins. Kiyama with the slice into midfield. Might work out okay for Osborne. Brown was able to win it off her, though. Johnson. Mum FC putting the passes together. Harrell, Prayado's layoff. Kiyama was clearing. Throw in Mum FC just in front of halfway. Fremantle City are going to turn to the bench for the second time this evening. We're going to see Kate Nolan enter the pitch. My Spatafor will make way, so I suspect that'll be a like-for-like switch with Nolan to take a position out wide where Spatafor was playing. Nolan, of course, with a really good impact off the bench at the weekend. She got the assist for that winning goal by Truman. Adds real pace and real purpose. Player who's had a good season in the under-21s competition this year. In fact, her season last year earned her a call up to the Goldfield State girls team for the National Youth Championships in 2022. So, player who's certainly on the rise and constantly improving. She'll be looking to make her mark in this semi-final match, and she's giving chase here to Schubert, who takes the safety-first approach and turns out for a throw. 10 minutes gone in this second half. No change to the halftime score. FC yet to turn to their bench. 2 changes already by Fremantle. 1 at the break, 1 early in this second half. Hawkins and Nolan on, Spatafor and Borman off. If you are late to joining us in this second period. Pass inside by Hawkins. Nolan was coming back from an offside position. Home team can breathe easy for a moment. Harrao trying to outmuscle Waltman in midfield. Was able to emerge with it. Her pass was then intercepted by Osborne. Johnson will knock it back for Brown to get us started again. The throw was inboard for Harrao. Meaden's layoff. A few Fremantle City legs just swinging at the ball there, trying to get it clear. Eventually they bring it down. And Leake will just try and gain a bit of ground. Hard challenge there from Lehane. Fremantle City emerge with it. Truman making the burst down the right. Black shirts getting forward centrally. Mathers has got the pace, though, to at least check Truman. And in the end, the pass was short of a teammate. It's actually stayed in play there, in fact. Eventually, Mathers will spin up the line. Meaden, Prayado, Meaden again. Lovely close control, the former NTC player. Joined the club this season after a few years in the NTC system. Scored double figures at under 21s level a couple of seasons ago, Sophie Meaden. A little less active last season in terms of a goal return, just the 1 strike in 18. She certainly played a key role in this Mum FC team this season, which has carved out some good results. Meanwhile, Freo come the other way. Jamie Lee Gale will try her luck. Cabell was happy to watch that one over, though. Home team are going to make a change now. Danielle Brown's going to make way from the far side of the pitch. Charlotte Meaden's going to come on in her place. Player who split time between 21s and the first team last season. She even spent a little bit of time in midfield in 2022, but I imagine tonight it'll be a like-for-like swap for her. 21 Charlotte and the 23 Sophie. Both of the Meadens out there. Forward from Rigby. Past Truman. Nolan arriving. And and the free kick was conceded by Hawkins. Murdoch University Melville looking to break a winning streak of 3 games in a row at this ground that Fremantle City have. All those matches in the league, of course. In fact, they've won 5 in the last 6 overall. The round 1 game this year, the exception. In fact, in the history of the MPL WA women's competition, Mum FC have only won once here in 6 home matches against Fremantle City since the 2020 campaign. That game was back in round 15, 2021, when Sadie Lawrence, Ellie Lamont, Katarina Jukic and Tia Stonehill, some real attacking heavyweights, were all on the score sheet. A little bit of a surprising statistic given the dominance that Mum FC had in the first 2 seasons of the MPL women's era. That league record won't matter a jot, though, if they can continue on their path tonight. Still leading by that 20th minute, Sam Mathers goal to 0. Goal number 13 of the season in all competitions from Mum FC's number 13. Wainwright won the 50-50 over Hawkins. Lucy Hope. Time for Harrow to turn. Out to Jess Johnson. Charlotte Meaden with a little bit of work to do. First real meaningful contribution in the game so far. Adams went back and headed at the second time of asking. Prayado giving chase to Leak, and Cornish has to make a clearance as long and as far as possible. Sophie Meaden then helped on, but Prayado couldn't give chase as she was in an offside position. Wainwright, lovely footwork to get away from Waltman. Little clip over the top. Osborne got half ahead and it'll work out pretty well for Johnson. She's got Prayado in the middle. A few other red shirts arriving on the scene. It was played behind both Sophie Meaden and Harrow. And now Waltman can burst clear. Ball just inadvertently hit Nolan, who doesn't give up the ghost and forced an error. Mum FC are able to get bodies back now, though. Fremantle City will come forward through Leak. Gale, turn around the corner. Rigby forward from full back. Cross comes in. It's behind Cavill's goal, though. They've gotten into a few decent positions out on the flanks tonight, have Fremantle City, but the delivery just hasn't quite been there. Johnson, great turn to get away from Osborne. The path seeking out Meaden. Adams got there in the nick of time. Sophie Osborne comes away with it. Nolan giving chase. It'll run all the way through to Cavill once again, though. I suspect the home team will be pretty happy with those balls coming in long from deep. Zipping off that pitch and making their way through to the goalkeeper. Adams under the pump here. Mathers on the scene. Cornish off her line. Important intervention. Danger still not cleared yet. Johnson's turn inside. Mathers, strike at goal. Near post save from Cornish. And it stays in play. That was really good hustle from the home team, though. And in the end, Cornish had to make the save. Waltman emerged out of the duel with Mathers. Once again, though, the home team were able to win it back. Kiama, Schubert wins the challenge. Cavill's clearance straight to Waltman. Forward then by Hawkins. Truman having a little run on this right-hand side. Passes a pretty good one for Gale, who looks up. Had to wait for her teammates to arrive. Delivery comes in now, and it was Hawkins, I think, who made the break forward from midfield. She won the header and wasn't quite able to turn it on target. So a little bit of a let-off there for Mum FC defence, allowing Hawkins to get clear on marked room. Still it stays 1-0. Coming up to the midway mark of this second half here at Best Team Stadium. Sam Mathers' goal still the difference. Streamer.com.au. We're also on the Football West Facebook page as well. Tommy Dolman with you on the call. Winner of this game plays the winner of the second semi between Hyundai NTC and Perth Soccer Club, which will be played in 3 weeks' time, due to the NTC being away on challenge duties. Chance to play in the final at the State Football Centre in early September, up for grabs. Great opportunity to play in one of the first matches at that venue. And just while we had that break in play, Mum FC turned to the bench. It was Andrea Prado who came off. And coming on in her place is Isabella Wainwright. Player who scored in the last round against Hammersley Rovers. Sister of Charlie, who skippers the team, as Hawkins' wild cross went behind. Just been that sort of night for Freo so far in the attacking positions. Mum FC with a little bit of risk being taken. Worked out okay for them though. Mathers. Meaden. Wainwright couldn't keep in play. Kiama. Osborne. Nolan. Return was looking for Osborne. Didn't reach her. And then Johnson wasn't quite able to keep it in play. Cricket pitch in the middle of the facility here at Best Team Stadium. Truman. Red shirt swarming around Olivia Truman, and numbers win out in the end. A real show of desire. As Fremantle City start to camp themselves in Murdoch University Melville territory. Just short of 20 minutes to go. Ball forward from Hawkins. Rigby got there first. First touch was a little too heavy though. One ball forward from Cavill. Awkward bouncing ball for Osborne. Isabella Wainwright looking to be a nuisance. Osborne was able to keep in play. Nolan nicely brought down. Tricky one to bring under control. She ran into trouble. Waltman was there to help her. The poke wide. Slightly behind Gale. And then Lehane came across really well. Wainwright again. Pinches it off Leake. Johnson. Support arriving now in the form of Clara Harrao. Little pass inside. Sophie Meaden tries her luck. Deflected and behind. Fremantle City wanted a foul there, I think, for a little tug of Leake's jersey. They were able to pass the ball really nicely, though, around the edge of the area once again and create an opening. Johnson's ball in very deep. And it was Charlotte Meaden at the back post there who got to it first. Almost just ghosted in. And got there first, just wasn't able to keep it down. And a couple of good chances in as many minutes. That pass cut out by Johnson once again. Goes to ground. Mum FC free kick on the edge of the area. Johnson's been a real live wire tonight, has to be said. She was only playing under 13s last year with the club. Made that step up to MPLW level look so seamless. So this set piece suiting the left footer. And Charlotte Meaden. Up she steps, over the wall, and it whistles just over Cornish's bar. That wasn't far away at all. Really good hit from the right back. Mum FC time to perhaps enjoy a little bit of territory themselves. Rosie Lehane got the early shout from Mathers. Ball across was a little off the outside of the boot. It was swatted away by Nolan. Gale ran into trouble. Harrao. Another who was playing 13s last season. Nolan got past Meaden. Ball will stay in play over on that far side. Gale and Truman are in the middle. Gale got ahead to it first and she couldn't quite turn it towards the target. Nice pick out, though, from Nolan. And again, they aren't able to put one on target. As we tick into the final 15 minutes. Mathers. Rigby. Important foot in. Osborne was across. Now Adams up the line. Nolan is a willing chaser. Schubert always had control of the situation, though. Gale's layoff. Karis Hawkins. Low skidder from distance. Step across from Cavill and an easy take. At least able to hit the target on that occasion, though. The visiting side. Lahane. Isabella Wainwright. Twisting and turning, trying to get away from Leak. Laying to the edge of the area. Johnson. Hawkins did really well. Tries to send the ball forward. Once again, Schubert was in the way of it. Meaden, little clip forward. Johnson can't run onto it. Stabbed back to her goalkeeper by Osborne. And Cornish will put into touch with Schubert needing a little bit of attention in the centre circle. Fremantle City gathering in a huddle, trying to rouse themselves for one final push in the last dozen minutes or so. Mum FC, meanwhile, use the opportunity to come to the sideline and take some fluids on. Schubert back to her feet, which is good news. She did come off with injury a couple of weeks ago in the 6-0 defeat to Balcatta-Etna. Let's see her back on the ground tonight, and she just has to wait to be waved back on. Head coach David Biancuso just giving her a message before she is waved back on by David Avison. Leaks ball forward. Jamie Lee Gale. Foot race with Charlie Wainwright. Gale gets there first. She'll burst into the penalty area. She'll pull across goal. Arriving was Hawkins. And it skidded straight past her. And Mum FC were nearly stretched there with Schubert off the pitch. She's back on the ground now, though. And perhaps a lucky escape of sorts. Osborne's throw. Waltman got out of a tight corner, pulled it back. Olivia Truman! Straight at Cavill. Once again, they're not able to beat the goalkeeper. But that was much better build-up from Freo on that occasion. And not a surprise to see that Laura Waltman was at the heart of it. player who's having a sensational 2023. And she put the pass on a plate for Truman, who just couldn't quite steer either side of the goalkeeper. So, third change for the home team. Katie Schubert will actually come off now, so perhaps not quite going to be okay to see this one out. Penelope Clayton has come on. So Mum FC have made all three of their changes. She's actually come on up front, so that'll mean a slight reshuffle. It looks as though the goal scorer Sam Mathers has dropped into left back, and Rosie Lehane has gone into the centre of defence where Schubert was playing. And Isabella Rainwright is now playing on the left of midfield, so a little bit of a forced tweak there by the home coaching staff. They've got around 9 minutes to see this one out and seal a spot in the Women's State Cup final for the second time in 3 seasons. Fremantle City looking to make their first appearance of the NPL Women's era. They'll get a throw here to try and make something happen. Hope clears upfield. Clayton. First touch for her. She had a little spell here last season, actually. Penelope Clayton. Meanwhile, ball is through. Meaden. Very late flag from the assistant there. And, in fact, it was cheaply given away by Freo, who tried to get a move on. So, Mum FC will get it back in any case. I was just saying that Clayton made 5 appearances and scored a couple of goals here last season before actually finishing the campaign with Fremantle City in the back half of 2022. Beckenham Angels, Stirling Panthers and Curtin University among her other former clubs. Charlotte Meaden's throw, aimed in long towards Sophie Meaden. Ball into the area. Wainwright's at the drop, battling with Tash Rigby for possession. Rigby will then slam upfield for territory, but it'll give the ball straight back. Gale. Last touch was off Mathers. Waltman. Little ball into the channel. Cross came in from Gale. Behind it goes for a corner. 6 minutes and counting for the hosts. Gale's ball in. Dangerous delivery. Still not dealt with just yet. It was prodded back to the taker. Secondary ball in from Gale. Cavill thought about coming. Meeting it then nearly was Hawkins, I think, again. And they just about scramble it away. To Mum FC. Danger still not cleared just yet. Wainwright ensured it was, though. Clayson was outnumbered. Waltman's pass. Kate Nolan snuck in behind. Offside flags up, though. Meaden's layoff drops straight to Nolan. Truman. Osborne's cross. Cannons off Johnson. Freo throw. Kiama ran out of real estate, and it'll be a Mum FC throw, so again the pressure eases ever so slightly. If you're of the Murdoch University Melville persuasion. Waltman's layoff. Truman's first time ball. Dealt with by Hope, who's had a good game at the back today. Into touch then by Isabella Wainwright. All hands on deck now. Gale kept in play. Waltman, can she try and make something happen? Meaden got a foot in. Fremantle City corner. Everybody back defending for the hosts, other than Penelope Clayton on halfway. Corner comes in to the edge of the area it's cleared to. Nolan tried to help it wide for Osborne, who's leading the race and opting to let it go out for a throw. Throw was sent straight back at her by Hope. Another corner. Starting to stack up now for Fremantle City. Can they get the delivery right? In comes the corner, over the head of Cavill, and at the back post, I think it was Rigby, who might have clattered into the frame of the goal as she bravely tried to turn the header on target. She's back up on her feet quickly, though, not wanting to waste any more time. Now, decision is a goal kick, despite some protests for a corner. Mentioned Fremantle City in that top of the table clash at Hilton Park this week against Perth Red Star. Tough run for them, in fact. They've got Perth Soccer Club coming up next as well after Red Star. And then they've got the home game against Curtin to follow. Johnson's ball across. Leaks, skied straight up in the air. Rigby got ahead to it. Helped on by Hawkins. Gale nods on. Lehane then just lifts it any old how up in the air again. Doesn't have to be pretty for either team here, that's for sure. Johnson, a little bit of space here for Isabella Wainwright. Quickly closed down by Rigby, though. Wainwright and Rigby doing battle. Hope's just happy to get it upfield again. Mathers with a header down. Hawkins went in for the challenge. It'll be a Mum FC ball. 30 seconds left plus injury time to play. Rigby's clearance to the feet of Meaden. Clayton. Offside flag has gone up. So the progress is halted. Referee wants the free kick taken back where the offside infringement was made. 90 minutes is up. All on the referees now as to how long we've got left in this one. Can Fremantle City create one final chance here? If they can, we'll go straight to penalties. Waltman to the right. Hawkins knocked forward. Gale was tracked. Ball broke the way of Lehane. Up in the air it goes. Kiama's at the drop. Clayton tried to win it. Waltman trying to get through a couple of challenges. Ball might break Truman's way. Sliding in Johnson. Cleared up field again. And the foul was committed on Harrell back there in amidst all of that. And this will be welcome relief for the home team, who can take a few more seconds out of this one. David Biancuzzo's team away at Subiaco this week, but for a home game against Red Star, and then they play NTC on the road upon their return from challenge. Johnson tiptoes past the challenge. Came back inside. Sophie Meaden. Wainwright. Keeping the ball, the aim of the game now, as far as the home team are concerned. Clayton. Back for Wainwright. Clayton again. Knew she was offside. And Mum FC have got to get back in shape. Fremantle City keen to find another football. Cornish takes quickly. Annabelle Leake. Almost 2 minutes of added time is up. Shouts for handball against Hawkins, and the referee said yes. Hope goes long and wide for Wainwright. Rigby there to meet her. Wainwright's got some work to do. Waltman was applying the pressure. Waltman, Hawkins, space for Osborne. Forward it goes. One final throw perhaps for Freo. Forward from Adams. Waltman with space. Nudged forward. Headed on by Truman. Through to Cavill it goes. And she's not going to be any rush to pick this up. Eventually she has to. Under the pressure of Nolan. But time very much ticking away. Adams all the way back. Cornish forward. Kiama had it pinched off her by Johnson. Mum FC looking to potentially seal this one. Johnson then commits the foul on Leake. 93.5 minutes played. Forward now by Rigby. Still we play. Mum FC win it back. Waltman's still working hard. Wainwright then fouls Rigby, who tried to play on, but the free kick was already whistled. And this has got to be it surely now for Freo. We've played 4 minutes of added time. Very much creeping into all or nothing territory now. Leaks ball forward. Over everyone's head it goes. Hawkins was trying to get on the end of it. Cavill gathered. Mum FC win and go through to the Women's State Cup final for the second time in 3 seasons. And on the balance of play and on the balance of chances, they probably deserve it as well. They were excellent in the first half. Sam Mathers with the only goal of the game. Her breakout season continues. And a spectacular curling effort decided it. A goal fitting of winning any contest. And it was a strike which put David Biancuzzo's young Murdoch side into the Women's State Cup final, which will be played at the State Football Centre against either Hyundai NCC or Perth Soccer Club. That semi-final to be played in early August. But for now, this is Mum FC's moment. They are through to the final in September after a 1-0 win over Fremantle City. Thanks to Philip on the camera tonight. My name's been Tommy Dolman. We'll catch you later from the Best Team Stadium. Good night, everyone.
Monday because Monday week is when we'll have our super. Hey, listen, that was a enjoy the spoil and we go out the fire. Is it? It's a great time. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He ran his post, and then one of the Janice was like, someone push her. I'm like, mate, she ran into it. Sorry, that was me. Yeah, I went and said, oh, she's picking her up. And then
I'm mistaken. Yes!
I like their baggy feet. They're so quirky.